Hey folks, my name is Ravish and welcome back to another video in the series of DevOps Interviews. Now in today's interview, I have a profile with me. So this person is around 4 years of experience and the experience in DevOps is around 3.1 years and in cloud is 3 years. So this candidate has started her career as a full stack engineer and she used to work on backend and front end as well. And then in this interview, I have divided into a few parts, part 1, part 2, part 3. And part 1 would be concentrating more on the DevOps lifecycle, what were the steps that you were following in the DevOps in the lifecycle of your product, from step 1, step 2, step 3, and what were the tools that you were using. The question would be based on that. In the next part, we would be concentrating on the deployment strategies, a few questions here and there. What is blue green, what is rolling, and what is updating method, something like that. And at the end, we would conclude it with a few Docker questions and a few Terraform questions. So that would be the interview for today. All right, so this interview is quite like 40-50 minutes interview, and you can take out your pen and paper and write down all the questions that I have asked in this interview. All right, so again, I would like to reiterate that if you're new over here and seeing me for the first time, my name is Ravish and I create content for DevOps and cloud related stuff. Kindly subscribe the channel because it really motivates me to create more content like this. So without further ado, let's get started.
And I'm working. So here I got a chance to work on a DevOps tool that is involving automation, deployment, setting up a CI/CD pipeline that is on Jenkins, and provisioning AWS infra resources and application deployments, all those using Terraform. And I have provisioned AWS compute services such as EC2, Lambda, storage services, S3 using Terraform. So here I used to get request from the application team for creating AWS infra resources as well as application deployments, all those using CI/CD pipeline. So first, what we do is we used to create infra pipeline as well as the application pipeline using CI/CD tool. So AWS infra resources I create using Terraform script where I implement a Terraform lifecycle, all those init, plan, and apply. And I found a destroy also in the pipeline. So depending on the requirement, we used to push code to the Git and configure pipeline involving multiple stages and steps. Apart from all this, we used to get a request for Docker also. So for Docker, getting request from the application team and creating Docker image and from the file and push it to the JFrog and provide that tag name before pushing it to the JFrog. And we used to get deployment file from the application team sometimes. Sometimes we also use we have also written from the scratch that Docker file and we used to apply the deployment file and pods gets created. So we used to validate that pod is up or not, and then we check for the error, if we have any image pullback error, if container restart failed, all those things we used to check. Apart from all this, we are involving for monitoring also here. So monitoring in Datadog, personally I have set up applications on application alerts on Datadog. And we have for dashboard monitoring, we are using Splunk also here. We have for LIDA, one application is there. We have set up there. I have not done, but yeah, for monitoring part, we used to write the queries also they have given. So just we have to if any alerts or something comes, we have to check there. So apart from this monitoring part we have recently we have involved into that SonarQube. So we are integrating our application on SonarQube for code, it's a code scanning tool, and for that we're checking for code smells and code coverages, all those things it used to show us about the code applications and all. And there is one tool called vendor assignment tool. So I have automated that tool. When you push the code to GitHub, it is auto build will start. So all those things I was a part of yet. Yeah, so that's all from myself.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to know about you, but you told me about your project, but that's okay.
Okay, should I tell about me colleges and all?
That's pretty fine. That's pretty much okay. Okay. So what CI/CD tool you have worked upon?
Jenkins I have worked on in my previous company, but here Jenkins also we use, but they have an internal tool also. So ADP tool, so
What's
that
the
we are
name?
using
What's the name of the?
ADP tool,
A-
DevSecOps tool it is. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like your plugins used to like we to use to add. It's an internal tool. They have only made some US people they have made, so we are using that.
Okay.
And we used to create that workflow, and according to that, whatever is it, we used to add the stages, and we used to like execute our stages.
Okay. Okay. So you have
Yeah,
used Jenkins, right? You know Jenkins.
yeah, I know
Okay.
Jenkins.
The application that you folks were working on, what kind of application it is?
It's a microservices.
Microservices based. What tech
There's
stack?
one application, yeah, we have almost 10 microservice, 5, 6. Under vendor assignment tool only, we have 7 microservices.
Okay.
So, that it
Okay.
is.
What is the tech stack of this project?
Tech stack, for DevOps team or application, mostly Java, backend, and the front end, they are using React.js. Like it was in that .NET and all earlier and Angular, but now they are moving all those things in React.js and Angular, Node, all those things. They are Java, everything. They are migrating their old application. So
Okay.
that is and for us, it's AWS and PCF also they are using for Cloud Foundry for and mostly AWS. And apart from that, like all those, we have that internal tool and Kubernetes, Docker, all those things are Ansible also.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's talk about Jenkins. All right. So
Yeah.
can you explain me the flow of your project? What exactly is happening, and what are you doing in it?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what is the flow of the project.
Hmm.
So here like Git. So
Hmm.
when source code, deployment file, Docker file, application models, packages is pushed to the GitHub.
Hmm.
So we used to push all those things. So Jenkins, what it is doing for infra provisioning, we are using for build application deployment such as microservices, all those things. We are using that Jenkins. And Artifactory also we are using JFrog to push the image and store the artifacts or to pull the image from the JFrog. And AWS also we are using that is infra resources and EKS. And deployment we are using EKS to deploy the file to the cluster. So this is like overall what we are doing. So if my work I used to write that Gen. I have automated that application and through script that also I did. And apart from that, we used to in daily day-to-day tasks, we used to write that Terraform script. We used to get a request for infra provisioning, so I used to write that Terraform code, and after that, we used to validate those code and push it to the GitHub. So all those things like day-to-day tasks we are doing.
Okay. Okay. So the project that you are currently working on, can you explain one by one every step what is happening? Like for example, if you have created Jenkins pipeline, so what is the
Yeah.
first step? Like taking out the code, checking out the code. Second step is building the code, something like that. What is the first step, second step, third step, until production? Can you explain it
Yeah, yeah.
stepwise? What is the first step?
So yeah, so first step, we what we know like a source code and source code, build, test, and deploy. We are doing
Okay,
so
okay.
source
We're
code.
going to walk one by one. So first is the source code. You check out the
Yeah,
source code. What is the second
yeah.
step?
And the second test is build.
Build. How are you building the code?
Using Jenkins, we are building. Here we are using that internal tool ISO tool, and but mostly like I know for Jenkins also I have good
Um,
knowledge of Jenkins
Jenkins
also.
is Jenkins is a facilitator kind of a thing. Jenkins might be using something
Yeah,
to build the
Docker
code.
build we are using, Maven build we are using, sorry. Like for build purpose, we are using Docker build, Maven build, and for our testing, like Angular build also we are using here. All those
Okay,
three, like Docker build, Maven build, and Angular build. Sorry, I got confused.
okay, no problem. So this Maven build,
Yeah,
this is running and producing some kind of file, right? What kind of a file it is producing?
Artifactory file.
There is nothing called as Artifactory file.
Uh,
It might be
like
producing something, right?
it is not Artifactory file, like it is producing Artifactory.
It is producing an artifact. What kind of artifact it is?
Uh, what kind of artifact is there? Is to artifact?
I mean, what it is producing? You're building the code, right?
Yeah.
You're building the code, right?
Maybe an artifact.
No, no.
Jar
See,
files.
it's producing a jar file.
Yeah, jar files that we're using. Yes.
Okay, so let's say it is producing a jar file. Okay.
Yeah.
And when are you doing Docker build? What kind of artifact it is producing?
Maven build.
No, Docker.
Maven image it is
It is
producing.
producing an image.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, where are you keeping this jar file and where are you keeping this image file?
Jar files we are keeping in JFrog, both like Docker, those images and jar files both in
In
JFrog. Then
both.
we used to create a link
Okay.
and that we are using in our deployment file.
Okay. So second step is your build. Third step is
Like a test. We are doing test.
what kind of test?
So, like a sonar test, we are doing that. I told Sonar Cube we are using here, like for code scanning tool,
Okay.
and for code quality, all those Sonar we are using.
Okay. SonarCube you are using. So this is a
Yeah,
like paid version or a free version? Community version.
I think it's a paid version. I have not asked, but community, I don't like. I think paid version only they are using.
Okay. Who has set up this? This SonarCube?
Like Sonar plugin we are using. So and it's like setup application. I think our tech lead has only done those things. But like in that so we have in internal tool and that internal DevSecOps tool. So we have a Sonar plugin also in that ADP tool. So
Okay.
we used to just drag and drop the things and we used to perform it to the stages. And
So whenever you run this
yeah,
step, the third step test, it runs for SonarCube, right? And where
yes.
do you see the results?
In that we used to get one link for Sonar
Okay.
and report that's on our report. So
Okay.
there we used to see the result like yeah, and Jakuku test and all also we used to
What is Jacopo test?
so Jacoco test report like whoever they're liking we get the report from their Jacoco coverage should be like 90%, but it is like 88%. All those things it is like that. So Jacoco report also we are running before all those commands I'm running are together only that dot black slash gradle w and then Jacoco report and then after that the SonarQ minus I that thing.
Okay.
And
Um,
yeah, actually, Jacoco is nothing. It's like a Java code coverage we are using for like mostly
okay.
for backend we are
Okay.
using.
And what does this SonarCube shows you after you run the build?
So if let's say testing after doing this test it will show you the uncovered lines, covered lines, everything code smells, all those things it will show you.
What do you understand by code smells?
Code smells let's take an example. There's some unwanted things that you have used, like private functions, some you have used, but you have not used those in your code. So it will show you the code smells, and after that, some duplicacy is there in the code. All those things we can say as a code smell.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
after
yeah.
that, what is the fourth step?
And our last step is deploy.
Deploy. How are you deploying it?
So deployment we are doing in EKS.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
used to write that YML file for that.
Okay. What is the branching strategies that you folks follow?
Branching strategy mostly on Git. So we have two branch, development branch, and we have one more branch that is the master branch. And like for local also, like if we are performing some of the task in local, so we used to create that story number and branch name.
Okay. So consider a scenario in which there is a developer sitting and you have some enhancement to do. Okay. What would be the branching strategy that he would follow?
So branching start, like first they should use developer branch so that it should not impact anything on the master. So
Developer branch,
like
he will
yeah.
directly start doing changes in the developer branch.
No, like local branch he can create for himself. There he can work, and then later if everything goes like if he can raise the PR and everything works fine, then they can merge into
What is a local branch?
a local branch. Like fork also they can use local branch. Suppose you have been assigned with a story like 112, so that 112 and local branch he can create for himself.
You mean the feature branch?
Uh, mm, Fork, he'll use fork that he can do. Used to fork, yeah.
Fork means
Child branch.
FORK, right?
Yeah, FORK.
What is fork actually?
Uh, like a fork is mostly for child branch. Child branch.
Okay, okay. So after that, what he'll do? Let's say he has created his own child branch, whatever you were saying. Then what after that?
So, what after that, he'll sync up the code with the origin branch, merge, and then he'll raise a PR.
Okay, what is a PR?
PR there will be they like pull request PR request. So here we are raising a PR request. So seniors will approve our code that everything is fine and it's ready to move to they'll review it mostly.
And then it will be merged with what branch?
Then they will merge with development branch,
And after that,
master branch.
directly without testing.
After testing and all, everything works fine on development. Then they'll merge it to master branch.
Okay. What happens to his local branch after merging?
They'll delete that branch later. Like we used to mostly we have lots of branch because every person will
Okay. And the last step
yeah,
is
and he can later sync up to the master branch also later.
okay. Later, it will be deployed, right?
Yeah.
So how many environments do you have for deployment?
Environments we have four we have like staging UAT pre-prod and prod.
Okay. So you have only one branch and 3, 4 environments.
Yeah. No, in one involved like one branch we development here we used to call it as a release, and my previous organization was development. So release and local branch we used to create, and after that master we have.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk on the deployment more. What is the deployment strategy that you folks use?
Blue-green deployment mostly we are using.
Okay. What is the difference between blue, green, canary, and rolling?
Blue green canary and rolling. So blue green what happened is let's take we have A and B. So if first we will push everything to A, so one by one it will go to like blue and green. So this after that this A will go off and it will go to everything will go on green kind of blue green that will be like a blue green deployment. And canary we're not using canary. It will be let me remember.
Okay. Okay.
So canary, it's used to create the things like that. And rolling up will be like there is very slight difference between this. I'm not able to recall this. Rolling, mostly I remember. Mostly we use those some instances of we used to previous version are mostly replaced with the running one. I think new version like that is rolling up the things. And for canary, exactly what we are doing here, put it Here, I think new version is released to like a small user, something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, okay. No problem.
Yeah,
So this is the tool. Okay. So you folks are using Terraform for the creation
yeah.
of
At
infra.
infra provisioning, we are using
So
Terraform.
how are you doing it manually or through a CI/CD pipeline?
So we are doing using CI/CD. That
CI/CD.
tools. Yeah, we are using that ADP tool here.
Okay, okay. Um, okay. So in AWS, when you are creating the infrastructure, why didn't you choose CloudFormation? Why did you choose Terraform?
So at Terraform, it's like it's not only AWS oriented. It's like on any cloud you can use it. Like you can use it on Azure, GCP, etc. But CloudFormation, it's very oriented to AWS only. So that's why I think we are going for Terraform.
And how are you maintaining the state files?
We have uh, S3 bucket. We are maintaining remotely we used to store.
S3 bucket.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So at what command the exact state files get created?
At what
Command. You have
Terraform plan? Terraform plan. Yeah. Terraform plan.
Terraform plan. So when you
Yeah.
type Terraform plan, the state file will be created. Okay.
Yes.
And what happens at Terraform apply?
Using Terraform apply like it will apply to like whatever resources you have provisioned. Like it whatever provision resources you have provisioned, it will apply on all those. It is going to provision. It will provision those.
Okay, okay. Have you ever triggered this pipeline?
Yes.
Okay. So let's consider a scenario. Okay.
Yeah.
So by the way, what is the infrastructure that you have created till yet? Anything?
EC2, S3,
Okay,
Lambda.
okay, let's talk about EC2. Okay.
Yeah.
Consider a scenario in which you are trying to create EC2 instances. Okay. There are 20 EC2 instances. Okay. Every EC2 instance is taking a dynamic value. Okay. At runtime. Just concentrate over here. Runtime. At runtime. Okay. So when you used to run it locally, not through a CI/CD pipeline, it used to ask you the values of those 20 parameters. Okay.
Yes.
So let's say EC2 instance 1, that's first value, EC2 instance 2, EC2 instance 3, so on and so forth till EC2 instance 20. Okay. And then it used to create the EC2 instances, all those EC2 instances. Now when you used CI/CD, you cannot supply the values through console because it's a CI/CD process. Okay. Now when you run it, some developer, let's say someone who was working on Terraform provided 18 values through a variable group or a variable file, but forgot to write two two values, last two values, 19th and 20 value. So when you run a pipeline, what happens then?
What will happen when we will run the pipeline?
Yes, in this scenario.
It will be variabilized at the application level, and then it will pick up the values. Like first we'll pass in the pipeline, and then we'll variabilize the application level, and then it will pick the value.
But
At
that's the
runtime, it will pick the value.
no, that's the problem statement. You have already in your term variabilize in your terms. You have already given 18 values, but you forgot to provide two values. So when it will try to create 19th or 20th server, it will ask for a value, right? But you
Yes,
cannot
yes.
provide the value because you are not using console. You are using CI/CD pipeline. Okay. What happens then?
It will throw error.
Will it?
Like if we have not passed the value for last two, so I think it will throw an error.
What kind of error?
Parameter missing, something like that error will get.
Okay. No, actually, it won't throw an error.
It won't throw any error.
No. I mean, even if you have not worked, what would be your approach? I mean, how I want to see how do you think? So, what would happen?
So first we will go to S3 bucket and we will check there.
You don't have to go to S3 bucket. I'm just asking like what happens when it's trying to create 19th server.
What will happen? Like it might pick some old TF state file.
No, it won't do anything actually.
It's tricky. I need to think on it.
Okay. Again, let's say because it was taking so much time, it was stuck there. You canceled the build. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you made the change for 19th and 20th server. Whatever variable you are trying to provide, everything is perfect. You rerun the pipeline. What happens now?
We will rerun the pipeline. What will happen?
Now,
We are giving workspace also here.
let's not talk about workspace. I'm just saying you rerun the pipeline by fixing all those two values which you were not providing at the start. What happens now?
I think you will start picking those values.
This time it will throw error.
Okay, this time it will throw.
Okay, no problem.
Like lately you have faced, I don't know, like I have not faced like this. Yeah, like whenever we created a new specs and we have variabilized those.
No problem. What do you understand by Terraform state lock?
State log.
Lock, L-O-C-K.
Like developers are mostly not able to modify. That is used to. Yeah, when you are working on that.
What is the mechanism behind it?
Mechanism behind it is like when let's take example like you are working on that one Terraform state file. So when even I'll also try to use that file. So I won't be able to I won't be able to use that file. So I think that is the mechanism, and I will be not able to make any changes into that file.
Okay. Okay. How do you define dependencies in Terraform?
Dependencies in Terraform.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 second, like I know this. I'll just
Sure. Take your time.
yeah. So thank you. So for dependencies, mostly dependencies are like it will it will use the information to determine in correct order in which you create the different resources, all those things, and it create dependency graph and all to resources defined by the configuration. We can take an example like Terraform. Yeah, like knows the EC2 instance must be created before Elastic IP. So that we can take as example. So that can be, yeah.
Okay, how many types of dependencies are there?
How many types of?
Yeah.
So module, yes. So like module dependency we have worked on.
Okay.
Source dependency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, module and resource.
What do you understand by external data block in Terraform?
External data block.
Mm-hmm.
So we have worked on that data block in Terraform mostly. So mostly we can say as a data block mostly. Let's take an example like data block request that Terraform read from a given data source and export the result under the given local. So all those things we are doing in data block, and external data block. If we talk about, so it always allows external program implementing a specific kind of data to act as a data source, mostly like exposing that arbitrary data to use anywhere else in the Terraform configuration. So mostly for that we are using.
Okay. Um, what is a null resource and a tainted resource in Terraform?
Null resource is like we can say null resource as when there is one word that I'm missing here. So mostly like implements the resource life cycle, but like takes no further like it doesn't take any action later.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever used this Terraform import command?
Yeah, Terraform import we are using.
Why do you use it?
So Terraform import we are using, it will all the like whatever required packages, everything whatever required, it will like we will get through Terraform import. We are using Terraform import
Sure.
to migrate the resources in the Terraform stored file mostly.
Okay.
Terraform state file, yeah.
Okay. 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 Um, do you have an idea of like how workspaces work in Terraform?
Yeah. We have also created workspaces in Terraform, and to create like new, we can create new workspace. We can delete also all those things. We are like if we want to like mostly let's take like if you want to create like a new workspace in Terraform. So we use that Terraform workspace and what is that command? Terraform workspace new and that name of that workspace, and then we can dev and then a name of that workspace, anything like if you want to create ABC, when we can create list of workspace, we can create uh, uh, like a switch if we want to switch like a one. Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Looks like your internet is having some issues.
I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, it's better now.
Is it fine now?
No, it's better now. It's better now.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so, have you ever worked on Amazon ECS?
Amazon ECS, I have like I know the what it is, but I have not worked it frankly.
So, what is ECS?
So ECS is mostly we are using for task creation.
Okay. What is the full form of ECS?
For Elastic Container Service.
Okay. What type of container we can create in ECS?
Like EC2 instance related, I think we can create.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Heard about ECS cluster. What exactly is a cluster?
ECS cluster.
Mm-hmm.
So this ECS is mostly like logical grouping of tasks for that.
Yeah, exactly. Can you explain more on that?
So when your task and services are run on any of the infrastructure that is registered on the cluster, so for that, and we are using this ECS cluster.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I have not, I have not worked on it, but I just like I have read it. Like I just know basics of it. Frankly, I have not worked on ECS.
Okay. Okay.
I just know the basics of it. Like for interview purpose, I have studied.
Okay. No problem. Have you worked on Docker?
Yeah, Docker I have worked on.
Okay. So when we talk about Docker, what was the
Yes,
underlying
yes.
problem that Docker was trying to resolve or has resolved?
Yeah, it's deploying anywhere and any base. That was so there was an issue and that got resolved. I think 1 2 years back. This
No, no. I'm just asking the purpose of it. What is the purpose of it?
OS related issues
I didn't get it. OS related issues?
that, yeah, like resource related issues, all those. What?
I didn't get it.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, I didn't get it. You were trying to say something now. Looks like your internet went away for a while. Can you explain me like what exactly do we need Docker for?
Docker mostly we are using for containerization
Mm-hmm.
when we want like let's take an example. I'll take example of any of the like application we have like vendor assignment tool we have. Let's take example. So under that we have like Frank, Thor, and all those microservices. So for all like one microservices, you want to make a container and separate database. So all those things it will follow a rule. That's why we are using a container and mostly it will cut down on any unnecessary components of the virtual operating system that will create a minimal version of it. So for all those purpose we are using, and it removes the problem faced on operating system space problem, all those things.
Okay. What do you understand by
Yeah,
virtual?
and
Sorry.
yeah, so yeah, one more like some mostly the purpose of Docker is also to we are using for deployment of application automate the deployment of application that is inside any containers, and we are also using our operating system level virtualization on Linux. It is more, it is very lightweight also, we can say, in very short language, you can say.
Okay. 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 What do you understand by a hypervisor?
Hypervisor is they have operating system, then hypervisor, then they are creating containers. So the mostly hypervisor only creates that virtual machines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, it controls something, right?
Yeah, it controls something. That's what even I'm trying to remember. For hypervisor, it creates and runs the virtual machine mostly.
No problem.
What it
It's
Yeah,
fine.
it controls. Yeah, I'm not remembering that exact word. I know, but I don't know.
It's it's
It's
it's
not
okay.
coming.
So what exactly the work you do in terms of Docker in your organization?
So in Docker, we used to get a requirement from the application team, and we used to create that Docker file, and we used to push it to the JFrog, and from the JFrog we used to get one image that we push to JFrog, and then from there we used to get one link that we are using in our deployment file, and we used to write like image build, push it to the JFrog, like we used to write the Docker instructions that from the Docker file, all those things we are doing, and from scratch I have written the Docker file also.
Okay, so you know how to write a Docker file, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
consider a scenario. Okay,
Mm.
you must have heard about this Nginx server, right?
Yeah, Nginx. We are also using Nginx server.
Okay, so consider a scenario. Just a moment. Okay, sorry about that. So consider a scenario in which you have an Nginx server. Okay, so you have written a
Yes.
Docker file and
Mhm.
you have just done the basic setup in that Docker file. And once you build that Docker file, Nginx server, the container is up and you can reach out to the Nginx server. Okay, so as soon as you reach out to the Nginx servers on your web browser, you can see welcome to Nginx, something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a very basic scenario in which you spin a Nginx server. Now, instead of welcome to Nginx, I want it to show welcome to Miss Ray, something like that. Okay. What are the changes that you will do in that Docker file that will show something like that?
Yes,
You
yes,
got the point?
yes.
You got the
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
or shall I reiterate?
No, 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 no. I
Okay.
got your point. Like, if we want to change that, welcome to Nginx, we want like welcome Miss Harry or anything. Like,
Anything.
we want to change that.
What are the changes that you'll do in the Docker file, and how do you how do you create it?
Yes, yes, yes. That Docker file, so to pull this image and run. I think we will change in. Uh, so for that, we will make changes in the. How we will change into that. We can do that. Like, I don't remember exactly, but I know. Like, we can do this. We can make the changes. We'll use. Uh,
Okay. Do you understand what is a copy command? What does it
yes,
do?
yes.
What does it do?
So it will copy a directory from your local machine to the Docker container. That
Just
is
a
mostly
directory.
about what?
Just a directory or any sort of file as well.
No, file add command we are using for files.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this is a hint for your question. You can use copy command. Now, how will you use it in your file so that you can make changes?
So copy command will copy a directory from our local machine to the Docker container. So we will use that copy source we will write and then destination and then we can make the
Can you
changes.
elaborate? This is kind of ambiguous. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just so Coblic will file the source we will write as the new one and destination will write the new one that we want to update. So like that, I think we can do it. If I'll Google it, then I will be able to. But right now,
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I think I'm done.